ever feel like you're glued to the madness on the news, TV, or even the cheeky office WhatsApp group packed full of gossip since everybody relocated to their living rooms and the water cooler congregation disappeared? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive in deep as to why this is your very own Achilles heel when trying to grab all the things that you desire in life. Picture this: while eyeballing a pot on the hob, you're watching the clock, willing it to boil so you can turn down the gas and let it simmer as per the package instructions. The clock keeps ticking, yet all you spot are those tiny teaser bubbles. Then as you step away, fed up of waiting, sure you have a few more minutes at this rate, bam, the bloody thing's boiling over, and once again your neatly timed life turns into kitchen chaos as you hear your nan's voice chime in on the back of your head. A watched pot never boils. That, my friend, is the observer effect. It's not just a nanism, but physics and psychology tag teaming to shape your reality. Now, in quantum mechanics or quantum physics, it's the same thing, just a different label. Playing the staring contest with a particle turns it from a particle, which is a concrete structure with both mass and position exact, into a wave, which is a spaced out object that seems to have no beginning, no end, and just keeps on going. Kind of like the difference between me after a low carb meal and a high carb meal. Now, I know this sounds crazy and not the carb spreading Katie, but the fact that simply by a human looking at a thing, the thing completely changes its properties. First up, how does a particle know it's being looked at? It has no consciousness. Second up, why was I never taught about this 1801 double slit experiment discovery, which literally blows the whole normal physics stuff wide open and clearly indicates it isn't just He-Man who's the master of the universe, but so am I. Want to hear something even more annoying? It's not like Young was a lone wolf in discovering that humans are far more in control of the universe than we first thought. Because 126 years later, a dude called Heisenberg came along and developed the uncertainty principle. This shows humans eyeballing a thing forces it to choose a specific state from a range of various potential possibilities. And this leads me nicely onto one of my hobbies, hunting around antique and charity shops for old books. Now, a few months ago, I came across a book called Instantaneous Personal Magnetism, written by Edmund Shaftesbury in 1947. And the original, that was published in 1906. And the entire book is devoted to helping you unlock the power of your gaze to get everything you want in life. So it's kind of like somewhere along the line, the history that we know was rewritten and all the new discoveries are 150 to 200 years old and are being rediscovered because people are hunting around in old libraries or on archive.org, which, by the way, is my favourite place on the internet. Either way, as a 41-year-old, I was definitely not alive in 1801, 1906, or 1927, and these three things alone should have directed my understanding of how the world works during my education, especially as I was interloping in the top set of the science groups and had to endure triple sciences for GCSE. Now, attempting to suggest that these things are far beyond our comprehension and only to be revealed when you're doing physics at university is a pathetic excuse for hiding the actual reality of the universe. And in the 1960s, a cheeky psychologist called Beck created a very well-known type of therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy, which when he was doing it had phenomenal results, though nowadays it tends to fall quite flat. And he used these principles, which no one knows about, to prove that your focus, whether good or bad, rewires your brain's autopilot via neuroplasticity. And recent research shows it takes between 21 and 66 days to unwire old habits and rewire the good stuff, which is why once you hit week 3 of your New Year's resolution, you're struggling. Your old fear-based patterns are pushing back hard because once you get over that hump, those hardwired unhelpful habits will be broken. And your brain's terrified of uncertainty. And even a crappy life, which you know is better than the possibilities of a good life when it comes comes to keeping you safe. After all, who truly knows what's lurking around that corner? So now you're probably wondering, well, which is it? Do I focus on the thing and manifest it as per Beck and psychology? Or do I walk away and let it happen as per quantum mechanics and my nan? Well, in simple terms, you pay attention to what you want to manifest. But as always, there's a catch. And if you've ever stumbled across any personal development stuff or have a woo-woo mate, you'll have heard of the term non-resistance. And yes, cue the eye roll. I know. But unlike all of them, I'm going to break down what it actually means and most importantly, how you can harness it to live the most awesome life ever. So there was a dude called Neville Goddard who was a mystic and a writer from Barbados, known for his teachings on the power of imagination and consciousness. And he gave a series of lectures back in the 1940s reinterpreting biblical texts and emphasized that imagination was the key to shaping reality, and he nailed it. His overriding principle: detach emotionally and you attract your desires. Now, in the same way that your nan puts the pot on the hob and walks away to lay the table, knowing it's going to boil, you and I need to let the desire go, moving us from a place of I want this thing to a place of this thing has happened, what's next? Now, as soon as you let go of the emotional obsession of a thing, cortisol drops by 20%, which not only helps you move into the fast lane of manifesting, it also ensures your prefrontal cortex is tuned into optimism so you can utilize the key part of your brain designed for positive action taking. And this act of releasing is absolutely essential for women. So that catch I mentioned, it's sex. Not the X-rated kind, but the fundamental how we're built kind. Men and women are different, and we are very different when it comes to playing with the forces of the universe. And on the 7th of April back in 2003, Lynn McTaggart released her book, The Field, in which one of the scientists she interviewed stated clearly, men attract by focused attention on the thing as per Beck's CBT. Women, however, literally repel what they want when they're heavily focused on something. Hence me being teased by the teeny tiny bubbles while watching the pot. And with regards to detaching from the outcome, as per quantum mechanics, both men and women need to do this to manifest quickly. And this means both are true, but your DNA decides whether focused attention is used or not. Now, regardless of whether you're male or female genetically, if you want to attract your desire and they manifest in a way which is awesome, you best ensure you're spending your days tuned into love. Everything is energy, and what we energetically put out, we attract. And here's where things get super cool. Time, it isn't linear, and quantum entanglement madness proves this. So Bell's theorem from 1964, which was then proven in 1982, shows that particles that are linked across vast spaces, such as one on Earth and one on the moon, alter what they're doing, for example, wave or particle, instantaneously if they are entangled, and instantaneously being a heck of a lot faster than the speed of light, something traditional physics said was the fastest thing ever. Oh, and I wasn't even born in 1982, so I definitely shouldn't have been taught that light is the fastest thing ever when I was at school, right? And did you know Einstein floated the idea back in the 1930s and he called it spooky action, but because it didn't fit into traditional physics, he decided to bench it and forget about it. And just to jumble your mind a little bit more, we've got to throw in Everett's 1957 multiverse theory, which says every choice you make splits your reality. But swinging back round to Heisenberg's 1927 theory, your intention collapses those potential timelines into your new path. So this is the beauty of energy. It's always expanding and contracting. Your emotions decide on the duality of manifestation, good or bad. Your action creates potential possibilities tuned into that emotional resonance, and your intention collapses those possibilities into a specific trajectory, and then the cycle starts all over again. Now, don't forget, the intention-based trajectory is either closer to you or further away from you, depending on your sex. Plus, remember, it's not instantaneous, we're not entangled, and this is a good thing because no one wants to think of a fish and chips for dinner, then be slapped in the face by a wet fish like the Monty Python sketch. Your nan didn't need a PhD in quantum mechanics. She manifested Sunday roast by not watching the pot, but by living as though dinner was already done. Understanding this principle enabled me to manifest my 2019 TEDx talk, which occurred in the exact room pictured in my mind 3 years later. Now, if only I'd known about the whole gender thing back then, maybe it would have come in 3 months, not in 3 years. But enough about me, time to get to the good stuff. Some science-backed, sassed up, soul-aligning actions that you can use to let go of desire and finally achieve your dreams. So tip number 1, 5-minute vision anchor. Now, the moment you wake up, visualize what life looks like after the thing you desire is manifest for 5 minutes. Tune into the feeling, then let it go. And if you find yourself scrambling around in your mind for what life looks like, then make sure you take just a few minutes to journal it out before you go to bed. Tip number 2, let the universe guide you. Now, over the next 30 minutes after visualizing, pay attention to all the random thoughts which come into your mind. And if you hear an action to take, you must do it. This is the universe guiding you the fastest way down the path that you've just chosen. It does not matter how random, how weird, or how far away this thought seems compared to your desires. Do it. Once your desire manifests, then it will make sense. Tip 3, live as is. Now, time to do one thing every day that you keep telling yourself you'll do once XYZ is manifest. For example, if things are financially tight right now and you're on the cheap versions of your staples, but hankering for a cup of posh tea, next time you go to the supermarket, buy the tea. Then every day you can drink your tea, and this one action, you're helping to rewire your mind to accept the new reality, further cementing it in place. Tip number 4, breathe and release. Anytime you feel yourself slipping into fear, worry, or obsession over the manifestation, just stop. Take a few minutes to breathe in and out slowly, then tune back into the visualization of the morning, refuel your energy with the positive emotional state, and carry on with your day. And if you're struggling with something like anxiety or stress, you're gonna need to do this snapping back more frequently. And it doesn't mean it's not working, it's just an indication of your current emotional state. You're not broken, just slowed down energetically. P.S. Ready to ditch the chaos and tune into love daily? Join my 29-day self-care challenge, 5-minute task to help you rewire your vibe and manifest better than your nan. 100% free, no card or name needed. Links in the description below.